Morning, good evening, and welcome. My name is Piwim Mwabe from South Africa. I am a storyteller, digital content creator, and writer. I'm also the founder of Butlale Hub Africa. Butlale Hub Africa is an online platform that seeks to amplify the voices of Africans on the continent and change the African narrative. Butlale Hub Africa also brings you Africans Coffeed Out Now Season 1. So, Africans Coffeed Out Season 1 is a platform where we connect, engage, and discuss African challenges that are faced on the African continents by Africans themselves. We are not affiliated to any political organization. We are affiliated to Africans and Africa. Today, please, you are welcome, and we thank you so much for joining. As you join in, please don't forget to tell us where you're joining in from where you're streaming with us. Also, if you're battling to access the stream, please head over to our YouTube channel, which is Piwim Mwabe as it appears on the screen. Today, I've got a very special guest with us that is going to help us unpack a very important subject, unemployment and mental health in relation to discouraged job seekers. KP, I welcome you.
Thank you so much, P. Thanks for welcoming me. It's always a wonderful, moment to be on your platform. And anytime we have this kind of opportunity, I always don't take it for granted. Thank you for everything that you're doing through Africa. And thank you also for this particular Africans Covered Out Now episode that you're running. I've been an ardent follower of every single episode. I am just like an addicted follower of your work. So it's such a wonderful thing to be here again. And I'm sure we're gonna have fun, we're gonna have good time and share insightful words together right in here for the people who are watching from wherever all over the world.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your support so much, KP. We are so happy to have you here, and we know that mental health is one of the subjects that you're very passionate about, and you're always ready to give solutions. You're always ready to give your views, your very positive views around mental health. So this is a very great opportunity, not only for myself, but for our Bohlale Hub Africa, as well as anybody who's going to be listening out there. I know this is going to be a very beneficial subject, and I know people are going to be encouraged just hearing from you. Even though it's a couple of minutes, but I know that you have solutions for a lifetime. So I am I am really humbled and very grateful to have you on this platform. And let's get right into it. Please just introduce yourself, KP.
Okay, great. I am Kunle Pelemo. They call me KP. And whenever I am in a particular place, there is a way we normally say it. I do say it, KP in the building. So I'm in the building with P-Way right now, and together we will do whatever we want to do. I am somebody who is passionate about mental health. I'm a global mental health strategist, a suicide prevention also enthusiast. And I do that both in Africa and I make collaborations to people across the world because it is something that we need to do. I'm also a strategist, a personal trainer, a leadership trainer, emotional intelligence trainer. I also invest in businesses. I'm a diehard collaborator who wants to see people grow and who wants to see Africa be on a very, very better terrain than it is experiencing right now. So these are some of the things that I do. I do a lot of things. So time might not permit me to say all of those things that I do. People who will have the opportunity of following me could do that after the program and see some of those things. So P, back to you.
Thank you so much. So please don't forget to follow KP. Follow him and get to know the amazing work that he's doing on the African continent and the world. I just wanted to be very, put that out there. So let's just get right into it. So studies have demonstrated that the effects and consequences of a lack of work has detrimental effects on on one's mental health. So I wanted to ask you, KP, what is the relationship of mental health and unemployment?
Great. That's a good way to start with. how does it affect someone's mental health? Like you
Mm.
said, the research you spoke about is very, very valid, because there are some key mental health related issues that has correlation with unemployment. And it is very pertinent we talk about it so that people begin to understand. Some people have even fallen into it already and they don't know why. And maybe they are unemployed and then they are beginning to see the tangible expression of the effect of unemployment on their mental health. One of such things is depression. And, I mean, when people have remained unemployed, they are unable to pay their normal bills, to also offer support for maybe their families or even for themselves to start with. So this push them into a form of sadness over a long period of time, and if not checked, it might make them go into that state of sadness that is severe, that we call depression. And some of the, I mean, that's a mental health related issue. Now, what about anxiety? The anxiety of, trying to get a job. Will I be able to get one? Am I even employable? What am I doing wrong? What do I need to do right? Who do I need to meet? Do I know the right people? The anxiety that creates sometimes too has a very huge effect on the unemployed, person that we are talking about right in here. And that also is a mental health issue. There is also the fear factor, there is also the panic factor, and all these things in one way or the other impact the mental health of the unemployed individual. So somehow it is not out of place, and the research is even valid that mental health and unemployment has one correlation or the other.
Wow. KP, you said something very important. You mentioned something very important on anxiety, the question that most job seekers ask themselves: am I employable?
Exactly.
And that is a very, very personal question, because that's one of those questions that leave you to feel very helpless when
Mm,
you don't get access to employment opportunities. So that really that resonated with me, the whole question of employability, because over the years, when you are not accessing these opportunities, you
mm,
tend to make everything about you. You tend to forget the economic issues that come with
mm,
creating job opportunities.
mm,
It's very, very that really touched me. And also, studies have also shown that a lack of social support, especially during unemployment, exacerbates stress levels.
mm.
So what are some of the detrimental effects that mental health has on the economy?
Mm. It has a great effect on the economy. I mean, if we link mental health to issues such as depression, anxiety, and research has shown that those two key mental health related issues that I mentioned, they contribute to about $1 trillion lost in productivity per year in the global economy. $1 trillion. So that means people who are unemployed in one way or the other has a negative contribution to the economy in one way or the other. So I mean, it is a huge and very, very serious issue, and I must thank you for really bringing this up for people to see. When COVID-19 struck, and the United Nations reeled out is and forecast that there will be an increase in mental health related issues. The reason is because the virus came with its challenge on its own. Then fighting it also came with another challenge. Don't forget that in fighting it, some people even lost their job, and then they go into that unemployed market again. So what that means is that a whole lot of people now are beginning to become uncertain about the future. And you know what uncertainty causes when people are asking questions, like I said earlier on, when you are in the twilight zone, what will tomorrow bring? How will I be able to cater for my family? And then the people who are even supposed to support you, you are in the same shoes they don't even have jobs as well. I mean, if we are talking about this is very, very relatable to us as Africans, because unemployment rate in Africa is totally alarming. And so you see that a whole lot of people who are supposed to contribute positively to the economy, they cannot do that, not because they are willing, but they cannot do that. And that is also creating a ripple effect in them. So they are not productive to the economy, and they are now becoming unproductive to themselves. So you see that the impact is huge, and it has a ripple effect. It grows from you being not productive to yourself, and then it extends to your community, and it extends to the national stage, to the continental stage, and even to the world at large. So I mean, that is why some of the things we would discuss in order to see how we can salvage the situation becomes paramount. And I want people to hang on while we create the discussion further.
Wow. Productivity. What a way of looking at it. Loss of productivity, and we need to be productive in order to grow, whether we are in jobs or whether
Mm,
you're unemployed or whatever. Like, we need to be productive. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah.
I see a question here, but I'm going to ask it after this question. I see a question. We're going to get back to the question. I've noted it. So um my third question is that feeling feelings of hopelessness,
Mm,
isolation, and material
mm,
deprivation is common amongst job seekers. What
mm,
message do you have for this category of people, like the
mm.
discouraged job seekers? Yes.
Mm, wow. Let me quickly talk on what I call the waiting room in that regard. And before I speak on that, I'm going to use the words, of Tony Robbins here, that says it is in the moment of our decision that our lives are shaped. It's in the moment of our decisions that our lives are shaped. Now, so what that means is that as an unemployed individual, you can choose the state that you really want to assume or you want to attain in one way or the other. And that's what I call the waiting room. I mean, a group of employment seekers who apply to a particular organizations were in the waiting room while waiting for the boss, not knowing that the boss intentionally did that, watching them right on a CCTV camera to see their reactions during their waiting period, right at the waiting room. So while they were there, all of them, all the eligible candidates who were sitting at the waiting room, they were offered drinks, they were offered, things just to make them comfortable. He saw those who are fidgeting. He saw those who are just asking questions around. He saw those who are just lazing about. He saw those who are contributing nuisance in one way or the other. And he saw those who were just, eating with no manners. And the kind of job they want to do deserves them to be cultured. It deserves them to be, to be mannerful, to have manners in doing things and relate to people with dignity, relate to people with respect and courtesy. So he saw a whole lot of people who showed no courtesy, and he was looking at them. And that was just the interview for them. They were waiting at the waiting room during that period, hoping that there will be an interview that will be coming at them formally, not knowing that the master was there just trying to unpick just one person who passed all the criteria he had highlighted by himself based on their behavioral pattern. And that speaks volumes about most people who are unemployed. While you can link that to you being at your waiting room, what you do during that time matters a lot. You can decide whether you will definitely now push your life to the extreme whereby you are down, your morale is low, you are anxious, you are panicking, you are fearful, and you put all somehow undesirable emotions, you activate them. You activate fear in you, you activate panic in you, you activate, anxiety in you. And then all those things are tending you towards unproductivity. They are tending you towards depression. How would you now react when you get that job? That's why when I mentioned being employable, That is one thing that it means. So a whole lot of people during their waiting room are somehow, and I must be sincere with you, it is not so easy. People will tell you it is not easy. That's the truth. That's the fact. But in that sentence, you find the word easy right there. So that means somehow you can find that ease of doing it right, even in the middle of not being easy. So somehow, I'm not going to speak because I have gone through those stages. I've been unemployed, I've been employed, you know, not gainfully now. I've also been employed gainfully. Then currently I'm self-employed. But each of those stages even come, I mean, with their challenges, no doubt about it. Sometimes when you are even self-employed, you'll be wondering whether you are employed or you are not, or you are unemployed when you are facing the challenges. So that means when you change the meaning, when you change a lot about what you do during that period, a whole lot about you will change. You can decide. That's why I use that word, that it's in the moment of our decisions that our lives are changed. You can decide whether you will isolate yourself because you don't have job, you don't want to mix with people, and you can't really get that job without the people, because you need people who will either refer
Yes.
you or who will even
Yes.
employ you directly. So when you choose to
Yes.
just isolate yourself, I don't have job, then you are in the room all the time, brooding over that, your joblessness. How would you now get job through that? That doesn't lead you. I mean, that feeds the problem. Most people are feeding their problem fat, and then you are giving power to the problem. So as an unemployed individual, you need to take power away from the problem. Maybe later on we'll now talk about some other things that you need to do in order to self-care while you are unemployed, and then boost your morale, and things that you can do even during that period that will be like, I mean, a springboard to when you get a job, and will help you during that period. P.
Wow, I'm so moved, KP. What you do matters during the waiting period. Like that
Mm,
just stood out because like you said, you sitting and isolating yourself feeds onto the issue that you're unemployed. You don't want to mingle with anyone, you don't want
yeah.
to meet new people, you just want to
Mm-hmm,
isolate
mm-hmm,
yourself and bury yourself with this
mm-hmm,
challenge that you're facing, that oh my goodness, I'm unemployed, the world
mm,
is ending. And it's not that, I sympathize because like you said, you've been through all the stages. I'm also unemployed. I'm going, I'm employed 1 minute, like I'm coming and going. So sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. I'm coming, I'm going, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what is happening? Like
mm,
sometimes I'm literally all over the place. But the one thing that I always keep in mind is that I have a goal. I know where I'm headed. I know what I'm supposed to do to get to where I'm supposed to go to. So this is not the end of the world. Another thing is that we need to also change how young people view it, because employment does not define you. It's
mm,
something that you do. So don't
mm,
let being unemployed make you feel as if you are hopeless. It's something that you do.
mm,
It's not who you are. Don't always categorize yourself as I am so and I am unemployed. No, that's just an economic status. That's something that you want to do, but that is not who you are. And that's what the waiting period does. The waiting period helps you navigate
mm,
yourself outside of employment. That's what it
mm-hmm.
does. Helps you choose who you want to be. So sometimes you
Absolutely.
might in that period choose to
Mm,
become an entrepreneur, or you might choose to look opportunities in a different light by networking, asking for
mm,
recommendations, referrals, and so forth. So you need to use the waiting period
mm,
very to your advantage. Love what you said, KP. And here's a question. So Quincy Lope says great points, Kunle Pelemo, on the correlation between unemployment and mental health. I just want to share that I'm finding more and more individuals, especially those without formal work experience, tend to use mental health as an excuse to not be productive. Mental health can be managed effectively. It's important to keep moving, to stay
mm,
motivated. What advice can you give? This is the case. If this is the case.
mm. Wow. Now, this is a multi-dimensional case. if I will definitely answer this. When he talks about people without formal work experience tend to use mental health as an excuse to not be productive. The question that I even want to ask is, how well do people even understand that their mental health state in this part of the world, majorly in Africa and in some Asian countries? But if I will even be plain to you, I have created conversations with people from different clients around the world, even in the so-called Western world, first world countries. Mental health had not really gained the supposed publicity and then the supposed sensitization it requires in our society. So when people talk about it, we should first of all even try as much as possible to put a kind of emphasis on such issues. you know I mean, I've created conversations in workplaces whereby people don't even care about the mental health of their workers, of their employees right now, and they want them to be productive. There is no productivity without mental health. Mental health and productivity, they work hand in hand. We tend to push people that, yeah, you just need to be productive, you just need to come to work. How good is the working environment for them in one way or the other? How good are they, examine sometimes when they are feeling like they are getting burnout in their workplace? Do we allow them to recharge in one way or the other? So in our society, I really do not see a lot of people take that as an excuse. Yeah, we might have some individuals.
We've lost KP there.
Yeah, P.
Yes, back.
So, am I back with you?
Yes, you back.
Great.
We're still live.
Okay. We're still live. Good.
Yes.
Exactly. So I mean, because what I was saying is the fact that we need to prioritize, conversations about mental health, and people who in quote now might use it as an excuse, they also need orientation. That's what we need in our society right now. Orientation about mental health. What does it really mean? And how is it managed so well? These are the things that we need in workplaces, in our institutions, in schools. How do we integrate it into our daily lives, and so on and so forth, like that? In doing that, that's when a whole lot of people will get the right knowledge about it, and then how we also apply some of the things that we learn that will help us as regards our mental health generally. P.
Amazing. Amazing. Love the answers you, Quincy Melo, for your question. You asked a very, very important question whilst you were the question. Do you even your mental state? So
Mm,
important. That is a very important question because many of us say we have issues, but do we actually know which mental issues do we like we have? It's
mm,
yourself checked so that you can start this journey, and you learn how to manage and
mhm.
so forth. So it's good to also check or read about it as well. Go to join support groups that will help you
Yeah,
unemployed. You need people around
yeah,
you. You cannot be isolating. The
absolutely.
waiting period is a very difficult period. You cannot do it by
Mm,
yourself. You need a very tight knit of people who will motivate you, and when you feel down, will lift you. So you need to be surrounded by a
mm,
group of people around you. Don't stay and be isolated, and I am the unemployed one, amongst my friends. I don't have a job and so forth. Yes, it's very painful, but please don't bury yourself. Don't bury yourself,
mm.
because you'll drown in anxiety, and so much is happening with the suicide rates
Yeah,
time. So I hope this discussion really assists, especially people who are in the waiting period, waiting either for employment, or waiting or looking into other avenues. Maybe who want to venture into business. Maybe you feel like you've waited far too long, and you have these abilities, these talents that you want to leverage on. Maybe this could help you in the waiting room for you to discover more of your talents, and take heart, please. And Kunle, this is my final question, the ultimate question. What would you want to cough out to African leaders?
mm. Wow. If I want to cough out, then I'll be coughing all through the day. There's a
Oh
lot
my
to cough
goodness.
out.
Yes, there is so much.
Absolutely. I mean, Africa is my fatherland, it's my continent, it's my motherland, and we have a lot of issues that we need to solve internally. But one of the prime ones that I'm going to mention on this platform for those who are watching right now and those who have the potential of watching this show later on as a catch up somehow is the leadership. I really have to speak to the leadership that they should provide an environment for Africans to thrive. I know we say that, yeah, we have great people, we have great resources, but one thing that we lack somehow is resourcefulness in our leadership. It is not the lack of resources that is haunting Africa right now, but somehow the lack of resourcefulness. Who are the people who are going to put those resources to the right use? Who are the people who are going to dig deep and make people who are supposed to be the bright, of Africa, the bright future or brightness of Africa, who are going to make them to thrive? Why do we have to let people go into some other clients and then we read about, the tremendous works that they are doing? It's the same people, but when you put them in a very poor environment, in a poor state, there is limit to what they can do in one way or the other. Let the leadership try as much as possible to, because it is peculiar to a whole lot of countries in Africa. I'm speaking from Nigeria. You are in South Africa. We have people from Ghana, Kenya, who are speaking almost the same thing that we are saying, until we come to that state whereby we reason together as a continent on the path we want to, on the course we want to path for ourselves as a continent. So that, I mean, my heart bleeds when we are called third world countries. What does that mean? We are not third world human beings. We are not inferior in one way or the other. But when our actions does not, when it does not match who we are truly, we truly are, somehow it creates a gap for people to see. And that is, I mean, that is like evident in the whole, in most African countries. Unemployment, and then poor social amenities for people, insecurity, and all these things are in other clients, but they have managed so well. So African leaders, rise up. It's going to be told in the future about what you contribute to these leaders. And when I talk about, I'm talking about this, I'm talking about those people who are in a position of leadership, because everyone will say, yeah, I am a leader. But there is a little to what I do when it comes to, the things that are passed across in my nation in one way or the other. Let's build a nation as a leader. Let's try as much as possible to create an enabling environment for people to thrive in Africa. African leaders, rise up, rise up. Thank you, P.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Let's reason together as a continent. I love what you said about that, as well as creating an environment of resourcefulness.
Mm,
We need to thrive. Africans need to thrive. They have it in them to thrive. And like I always say on the show, Africa is home. This is not a
mm.
playground. This is not a
Mm,
playground. This is not where you dump everything that goes wrong here, or you
yeah.
isolate us. This is home, home to the displaced, home. Africa is home. This is not a playground. So we need to really do better, do
Hmm.
better. We are not criticizing, but we want to see Africans thriving because they have it in them to thrive. Africa
Okay.
has it in the continent has it in it to thrive. This is home. I'm always going to say that, and we have to treat home a certain way. You don't just, when you get inside your house, you don't just leave it dirty and all that. You clean it up because this is home. You love it. You want it to be comfortable for you. So Africa is home. Africa is not a playground. I thank you so much, KP, for your time, for your time. I thank you to the viewers watching. Thank you so much. I hope this did resonate with you. I hope this conversation was life changing, and it gave you a different perspective. I hope you have a different outlook of your life as a young unemployed person, or an unemployed person, or whether you're a discouraged job seeker. I hope you use the waiting room to your advantage. You leverage on some of your abilities if you want to venture into business. If not, network, mi- associate yourself with the right people to get access to the right opportunities for you. It's not the end of the world. You are not defined by employment. Please take heart. I thank you so much. This is Africans Cough It Out Now, season 1. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Let KP say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
You.
Goodbye. Thank you so much,
Bye.
KP. Bye, ngiyabonga. Makukhanye.
Mahunkaye. Bye.
Yeah, makukhanye. Thank you so